Presented by your local North Texas Geico agents. It's time to get warmed up for week 2 of Texas high school football. What an offensive week we had in week 1 of the Texas high school football season. In the Metroplex alone, 19 teams scored 50 or more points in their season openers. Wow, now that's some offense right there. Will it continue in week 2? Let's take a look at some of the big matchups coming up this weekend. Let's start off at the Cotton Bowl Classic, where Denton Guyer will meet Cedar Hill at 10 a.m. on Saturday. The Wildcats are flying high after beating Aledo on their home field last Friday, 60-57. Guyer got huge games from quarterback Eli Stowers and running back Kadrick Cobbs. They will have an extra day of rest to get ready for the athletic Cedar Hill Longhorns. Unfortunately, Cedar Hill is coming off an opening week loss to state powerhouse Allen and will be coming into this game reeling. Look for Guyer to ride their momentum into another big win. All eyes will be on Hebron and Arlington Martin Thursday night. The Warriors shocked the state by going down to the state's third-ranked team, Lake Travis, and handling their business. Quarterback Zach Mundell accounted for 4 touchdowns and ran for 176 yards in the big road win. Hebron absolutely blitzed Plano last week, going up on them 46-0 before calling off the Dogs. This game should be a high-scoring affair. And finally, a huge 5A game this Friday as Frisco Reedy visits the Colony. Reedy had all kinds of trouble with Plano West last Friday, but managed to pull out a win. They will need more from quarterback Jalen Kitna if they hope to defeat the Cougars. The Colony only allowed 2 points to North Crawley last week, and the Cougars are a team always on the lookout for respect. They feel this is the year to make a deep playoff run, and we expect them to pull out the home victory over the Lions. Should be some big individual performances this week as well. Let's take a look at a few players we feel will make a run at an MVP bobblehead. We mentioned the Guyer Wildcats and how Kadrick Cobbs had a huge game against Aledo. Well, Cedar Hill's defense might be ripe to let up another big game for Cobbs. With all the big-time backs in the area, Cobbs is quickly proving to be near the top of the bunch. Keith Miller has been just slightly under the radar his whole high school career. Friday night against Reedy, look for Miller to bust out of the shadows. We expect big things from the Colorado commit. And finally, how about Denton Ryan's Drew Sanders? The Alabama recruit is already off to a huge start as he scored 3 touchdowns last week against Mesquite Poteet. A dangerous defender and an able receiver. Look for Sanders to do work against Fossil Ridge Friday night. This week on Wingstop Inside High School Sports, as part of our 25th anniversary celebration, we'll take a look at 2 star quarterbacks from our inaugural season of 1995. Chris Sanders of Flower Mound Marcus, who threw for over 4,000 yards, and Marcus Stiggers of Lake Highlands, who ran for almost 2,000. 2 different styles and both super successful until they met each other in the playoffs. Let's take a look at our rankings to see if there was any movement. Let's start in 6A, where Duncanville got off to a sluggish start, but had a strong second half to beat Lancaster 24-3. They remain at 1. Coming in at 2 is still Allen, who unleashed the Raylan Sharp era. Sharp accounted for 422 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns in the Eagles' win over Cedar Hill. At 3 is Denton Guyer. The Wildcats jumped 2 spots with their extremely impressive win over Aledo on the road. South Lake Carroll drops to 4 despite a win over South Grand Prairie. And rounding out the top 5 is DeSoto, who just edges out Rockwall for that spot. The Eagles' defense manhandled Permian and looks to show more against Jesuit this week. In 5A, not sure how anyone is going to knock Highland Park out of that top spot. The Scots fell behind by 17 to Rockwall on the road and then got on the back of Chandler Morris to pull out the 66-59 win. A terrific game. Number 2 is Denton Ryan. They move up a spot after beating Poteet handedly. Dropping to 3 is Aledo. Hard to fault them for losing such a close game to a 6A Geyer, but the Bearcats need to shore up that defense. Number 4 is still Frisco Lone Star, as they had no trouble disposing of Richland. And after Birdville's upset loss to Keller Central, there is a new number 5, and it's the Colony. The Cougars will look to prove their ranking with a huge game against Frisco Reedy Friday night. We're not done yet. It's time for the extra point. On our first extra point attempt, we go to Denison for the Battle of the Axe. But it isn't the football team we're looking at, it's the student section. Prosper ISD unveiled their new $53 million stadium on Friday. The Eagles won their kickoff event, and the superintendent joined in on the festivities by doing push-ups with the students every time the Eagles scored. A former bobblehead winner made a big commitment last week. Harmony Turner has chosen her college. She will be taking her talents to Harvard University. She got her official acceptance on August 29th. That's all we have for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on our social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. This will help get you ready for the best 30 minutes of your sports weekend. Inside High School Sports, Saturday on NBC5 at 6:30 p.m., hosted by Pat Doney. Thank you for watching The Warmup, presented by your local North Texas Geico agents. Be sure to visit geico.com/DFW for the location nearest you. I'm Ashley Bullington, and we'll see you under the Friday Night Lights.